Now you become friends with this person. You've gotten to know a little bit about them. You're not serious. You're in that talking stage. And the talking stage is not a relationship stage, just so we're clear. After your friendship stage.
Hold on. Repeat that for the people in the back, because I think it's some people back there that's on their phone.
Do not put a title on the talking stage. That's the friends with benefits is not a thing. You skip 3 steps if you're friends with benefits. I'm just telling you now. And that relationship 9 times out of 10 is not going to work because you skipping steps.
Welcome back to the With the Guys podcast. My name's James. To my right,
Raider Kaizen.
it's just us two again today. That's because the boys have been a little bit busy. Speaking of which, if you're in New Orleans right now, you have to check out his Instagram at Legendary Creations or Stuff by the Bayou. Food truck is out there right now, so you will actually be able to catch him while he's still in the city. How long he gonna be there, I don't know, but the food is definitely worth it. So go ahead and go check him out. Outside of that, how have you been? Because it's been a good minute since you've been on the pod.
Yeah. Honestly, been about 5 months. It's been more than 5 months for me being on the podcast. It's been busy. It's been hectic. Like everybody else, dealing with our tariffs and inflation and shifting some things around with the family and the kids and making sure everybody's good. I've just been grinding like most all. Just keeping track of all the new financial adjustments that we got to make just to keep this thing rolling. But all in all, still blessed, still comfortable. Definitely got no complaints. Just put your head down and go a little harder, which I've never been opposed to that.
I've got complaints, but there's no use in voicing them. It just doesn't make a difference.
Let's say but let's say got a baby girl in high school. She's enjoying all that comes with that and dealing with the growth of her and mom and being the mediator on some things. Got a 10-year-old he's 10, ready to take over the world. Trying to teach him to use wisdom in doing so he doesn't bump his head so many times. And really, the most recent thing for me has been, fasting more and being more self-disciplined so I can stay on track of what I need to get done. Which fasting is a cheat code for those who haven't done it. A 36-hour fast, something that we'll get into, how to do it the right way without feeling drained or feeling like it's just so difficult to do. I got a process for you that'll get you through 36 hours with no problem at all. And it gives your time, that 36 hours, to really heal, clean out your system and everything. So, something we'll talk about later. But yeah, so how you been, man?
Bored. Very, very bored. But while we're back, I mean, I can create a bunch of stuff, but if it's not getting recorded, that's what's the point for me to be creating all this stuff until y'all can see it?
True. Yeah. Creativity is meant to be shared.
I haven't been as bored as I portray. I mean, like you said, having to readjust to the foolishness that's befallen us, that's a full-time job in and of itself. And I've been having to deal with all that, but back on the right track, should be getting a whole lot easier soon. And because I haven't said it in over 5 months, go ahead, we're going to take this moment, we're going to give y'all a second, go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. The button is just right there. It's free $99 too, so just take 3 seconds out of your day, just 2 taps. We'll be good.
Costs nothing to subscribe.
But I want you to read out those last 2 points on that card right there, because it definitely just explained everything you just said you've been up to in the last couple months.
And so, the created by purpose. Or this up.
Yeah.
That one right there. Measured by.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to read that entire thing, you can, because it's just, definitions of what a man is by the Bible with receipts.
There you
Because we
go.
know y'all like receipts.
So Genesis 1:27, created by God in his image, designed for a purpose to work, cultivate, lead, and protect. Genesis 2:15. Measured by righteousness, not dominance. Act like a man, be strong. Let all that you do be done in the name of love, because God is love. Corinthians 6:13-14. A man is called to be a servant, a leader, strong yet humble, firm in truth yet guided by love and wisdom, which we know wisdom is held in the Bible. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, that's exactly what
That
I'm going
literally just explained
Like, nail
for
on the
last
head.
6-7 months.
That's what I tell people. Like, a lot of people don't understand, when you take time and meditate, that meditation you do, that's your one-on-one channel between you and God. And that's his time where you blocked out the noise for him to really communicate to you. That's why meditation is a superpower. A lot of people that don't believe don't understand why it's a superpower. Well, I'm here to tell you it's a superpower because God's saying, thank you for eliminating the distraction. Now we can talk. And that's where the epiphanies come from, and the guidance comes from, and the peace of mind comes from, is because now you have a direct channel to God and he can speak to you.
And that's all y'all gonna get for free on this one. If y'all want to see, if y'all want to hear the rest of this man's wisdom, you're gonna have to actually watch that episode. Only way you can do that, but you gotta subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, because you'll get the prompt when he's getting ready to drop these gems on y'all. Come on, you can't tell me that wasn't gold. Like, really?
Just a young man brought up by old people, so yes, I have a lot.
But we're not going to delve into that. However, we are going to talk about relationships again. I'm sorry, broken record, whatever. It pays the bills. Y'all want to see it. Especially in today's society, y'all actually need to see it.
Absolutely. So yes. The relationships, communication and relationships, two things. You can't have one without the other.
Communication is one I don't even want to tackle anymore, because to be effective at communication, you got to be able to listen. And everybody want battle rap right now.
A lot of it's pride.
Yeah.
Pride is a killer when it comes to communication.
Y'all heard that song by J. Cole? Pride is the devil.
It is. Pride will make you not apologize to somebody for something that doesn't even matter anymore, and never talk to them again. And then the next time you see them, they don't even remember what happened. And you could have flourished instead of going the long way around that person. You could have just apologized and been done with it. But people, and the apology is also a lot about forgiveness. But forgiveness, if people don't realize, it's a selfish act. We've talked about that before too.
Forgiveness ain't for them, it's for you.
Forgiveness is for you, so that you can be free. Once you've forgiven them, now you can move. Because they already gone. So forgive and carry on.
Which I can say I do forgive, but I forgive for a way more selfish reason than for me to be able to carry on. I forgive because I ain't gonna give you no power over me and to be in my mind and have control over my thoughts. Be gone.
Be living there rent free.
Be gone. No, you can't get that power.
Living in my mind rent free.
But on the subject of relationships, technically you're a vet at this because you've been in a relationship for how long?
23 years?
You've been married for how long?
17 years?
Most of y'all don't make it past 3 years. Some of y'all don't make it past 6 months. So clearly this man doing something right?
A lot of prayer. Laughing, but also serious at the same time. Yep. A lot of prayer and self-reflection. But it all started with the way we started the relationship. So.
Go ahead and let the people know how that actually happened.
We started the relationship with elder in one of my churches. She definitely led me when I was a teenager and said, you have 5 stages of relationship. Do not skip steps if you want it to work. Make sure in your relationship you go through each step and enjoy each step. And don't skip steps, because then you're looking for something that you could have found out, or you're finding out things that you would have found out prior to. And that 5 steps, like you have 5 fingers. You have your acquaintance, that's your pinky. Friends are everywhere. There's no real solid friendships. Your next stage is your friendship. Now you become friends with this person. You've gotten to know a little bit about them. You're not serious. You're in that talking stage. And the talking stage is not a relationship stage, just so we're clear. After your friendship stage.
Hold on. Repeat that for the people in the back, because I think it's some people back there that's on their phone.
Do not put a title on the talking stage. That's the friends with benefits is not a thing. You skip 3 steps if you're friends with benefits. I'm just telling you now. And that relationship 9 times out of 10 is not going to work because you're skipping steps. So, no friends with benefits, and talking is not boyfriend and girlfriend. There's no pre-boyfriend and girlfriend either. That's not what it is.
He said it, not me. But continue.
So your next step is your actual boyfriend and girlfriend stage. The reason why it's the middle finger is not so that you can give them the FU. It is the middle finger because that is when your friend group is typically the largest, and your friends on the girlfriend side or on the boyfriend side, both sides, your friends start coming together and recognizing you two as boyfriend and girlfriend. So you have the most friends there. That's why that's the longest finger, because your friends should actually track with your finger size, and we'll get to that in a second as well. After that, you get to your engaged stage. Why is engaged a little bit shorter than the middle finger? Because now your friends who accepted you as boyfriend and girlfriend, not all of them are going to respect you moving toward marriage. And for some of those, you are going to have a little less contact with them, because you need anyone who's expecting to be in your circle, your core, to respect your engagement and your marriage. Anyone who's not doing that, hey dog, I know you engaged, but we can still do X, Y, they're not on your team. And you're not going to be able to build a solid foundation or a support group with that. So take that for what it is. Of course, after engagement is married. Married is your thumb. A lot of people think the thumb is useless, which is not, but it's also the shortest and thickest finger that you have.
Time out. If you think thumb is useless, where were you in school with the thumb being the whole purpose of why humans have evolutionary advantages over other animals with the same physiology, but like
I've read some things online, and it's been impressive to see that how many people think thumb. I'm like, really? That's pretty funny.
Go pick up that glass.
Exactly. Go pick anything up you want to without a thumb. You ain't holding anything. It's just you can do it, but it's definitely not going to be the same stability that you get. But that's where the thumb kicks in. Stability, solid friends, and your core. They support your marriage. They support your union. They're here to encourage you when you disagree. They're telling you go back home and fix it. They're giving you that sound information. That's why your friend group is now shrunk. You're in that solid group of other married couples or single people who are like, no, they're married. We're going to do this as single people. They're going to do that as married people, and they don't try to intermix the two. And that's your core people right there. One thing I did forget to say. A promise ring is not engaged. And really, honestly, you shouldn't do a promise ring. I know a lot of females aren't going to want to hear that, but a promise ring is a waste of money and effort. If you want to be with that person that seriously and that badly, get engaged or stay boyfriend and girlfriend. But a promise ring isn't the go-between where like you're in the middle of engaged and not engaged. It just creates confusion. So no promise rings. I know the jewelry industry is not going to want to hear me say that because they'll sell less jewelry. But
I mean, unless y'all want to sponsor, then we'll say what you want for like 2 seconds and then go back to the real message. Just a second.
I'm still not 10 toes down on that.
Said,
No friends.
I said 2 seconds.
No friends with benefits and no promise rings. Those create confusion in your relationship. And then finally, which is a huge debate, which I've had multiple times with some of my peers, making up to breaking up is not the best. Because if you're going to do it, you cannot ask what happened in the gap. Because you have to move forward. If you're going to do it and ask that question about what happened in the gap, you have to be open to whatever comes and understand that that stage did not involve you, or you should have just worked it out. If it was that important to be with this person, you should have just stayed and worked it out. But make up some breakups over and over again, just break up, because that's not who you should be with. That's about all I got on that part of it, and then we'll dig more into it, because
Yes, we are.
I know you have some questions and I can elaborate a little more.
first question is, where do you think most people get stuck at in those stages?
Oh, that's easy. People get stuck going from acquaintance to boyfriend and girlfriend
Why?
because everything nowadays has to be fast, like speed dating. There's no friend zone. So then you end up with people, with all these people they dated with, connected with, hooked up with, and you never really knew who that person was. That's why you should have that friend time. Not friend zone, but you should have that friend time to really get to know who that person is without committing to them on a more physical level than, hey, I'll see you around. But a lot of people now have issues in their relationship because the person that they were with, they thought they were cute, they thought they had money, they thought they had whatever, and they're like, you know what, they cool enough, we'll make it work. But you never were that person's friend. And I can tell you from being in this thing for 23 years, once the sex gets old, which I can't say I'm at that point, but for some people they do. If it does get to that point, and you're not gonna have sex every day, just get that out of your mind too. You've got to be friends with that person. There's no way around it because you're gonna be with them for the rest of your foreseeable life if you made that commitment to get married to them. So you want to know that that's someone that you can count as your best friend because that's what they should be.
Fair enough, because I was about to say, as long as you got to make that commitment.
Yeah.
You have to realize you're making a choice, because if something happened tomorrow, just like the meme of that guy, his wife got into some kind of accident and her face got mangled by fire.
Mm.
But he made that commitment to her and he's still with her to this day.
Mm-hmm. Yep, if all else changes, they lose a limb, they get caught in a fire,
Become
they
paraplegic, quadriplegic.
Yeah, they turn to vet. Like, is that your friend? Did you have that love and respect for them, regardless of what else was going on? That's why you never leave your best friend. That's why your spouse should be your best friend.
I'm gonna point out pay attention to the fact that he said love and respect.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of y'all don't respect who y'all talking to and dealing with, and y'all wonder why y'all in the situation you're in now.
Well, it's very interesting you say that too, because how do you love someone you don't respect?
You know, you tolerate them.
That's what it is. You have a high tolerance for that person. And tolerance breeds frustration.
I wouldn't say frustration.
Yeah,
It breeds resentment.
It breeds resentment, but you run out of that tolerance. And yeah, the resentment comes because once you run out of that tolerance, then you're like, why did I waste my time with you? So yeah. That's where people get stuck in skipping from acquaintance. Really, if you're gonna sleep with someone, you go from acquaintance to married. And you skip every step. Even if you want to say it was a one night stand. Sex in essence is for marriage. Did I wait until I was married? No, I didn't. And that's not me judging anybody else because I'm telling you what I did. I didn't wait in every relationship.
No stones here?
But in the one that was important to me, I did. Because I learned through those other encounters that if she's willing or you're willing, sex can be learned. It can be. Like, to have a good sexual relationship with someone, you can learn what that person likes, they can learn what you like. So when you start to mature in understanding that, then you say, okay, I can put sex on the back burner. Can I deal with you on a day-to-day basis? And that was really something that, as I started growing older, the more women that I was meeting, I started getting like, okay, I'm not sleeping with this. I'm not sleeping with this one, this one, this one. I want to get to know you. Let's go to lunch.
I don't think I have any comments to add to that. So, next question. In your opinion, do successful relationships progress from one stage to the next and just stay in that new stage? Or is it cyclical and it's constantly evolving and going back and forth and going through the stages again and again?
It's cyclical. And it's cyclical because of your emotions. That's why you have to really choose who you want to be with and who you can stay with. Because there are times where you're going to feel like, I don't really like this person. And then that's when that second mind can, but I love the you know what out of them. But right now, I'm just not liking you. And you have to be able to take 5 and come back. And then there's some days where you're going to feel like, I just want to be inside of your shirt. And you just want to be around that person. You ain't found that person yet. It'll come. Don't worry. Trust me. It does. It does. If you find that person, it'll happen.
I'm a space person. You can be right here, but inside my shirt, that's
well, and that's the thing.
Too much.
That's the balance in it. You're gonna find that one person who is going to want to be in your shirt, and that's gonna be your balance. So I'm just telling you before it happens. You'll be like, God dang it, Brady, you did it again. Like, and you're gonna be okay with that person being in that space
for like 10 minutes,
and everybody around you gonna be like, what's different about her? I'm telling you, bro. When you find the one, you like. Everybody else bothers me, but she's good in my space.
Good luck to whoever she is. Yeah. But, okay, fair enough.
So you have to be willing to come back because it will be cyclical.
I mean,
and you have to understand above everything else, this is my friend. We're on the same team.
If you want an example of that, one of the most well-respected black couples ever in history, the Obamas. Michelle Obama went on an interview while Barack sat right there and said, for 10 years, I didn't like this Negro.
I lived that myself.
But
I was very frustrated with my wife for the first part of it. But the more I got to know her, even in that time span and understanding why I didn't like what she was doing, it became clear to me that we were raised differently. And some of the things that I was raised to be as a husband and as a man, she wasn't raised in the same aspect to be that as a wife. But she was my friend, and I loved her. And I said, I'm in it for you, and I'm in it with you. So let's figure this thing out. What do we need to do? And we did. And here we are. That was, I said, now mind you, I said the first 10 years. It seems like a long time, but there were great days in those 10 years, and then there were some very hard days in those 10 years. But she's my best friend, and she's mine. And that's where I chose, like, I'm staying. I'm not going to leave her because she's my girl.
so basically, just because one inconvenience popped up, you didn't let your eyes start roaming.
Absolutely not. No.
Y'all taking notes? Same subject. Going back in time, where did the younger version of you get stuck in those stages?
Exactly what I said. Going from acquaintance to, man, this chick is bad. I'm finna do the, like, oh yeah, absolutely. And then realizing, like, man, I really don't like this chick. After the fact. And I'm just like, now I'm here on this date. I don't like her. She ain't talking about nothing. Like, I really want to get rid of her. And then they're feeling some kind of way for me being like, you know what, this ain't it. And then they want an explanation because now that emotional attachment is there because of what transpired. So like I said, as I did that a couple times, and I was like, hey, this ain't it. This is not going to work. That old lady was right. I'm gonna have to take these kids through some stages. I'm gonna have to they're gonna have to get put through a test before I do this again.
Fair enough. Very fair enough. That old lady was right. That's
she was right.
Funny.
She was right. And I have stuck with it, and it has gotten me this far. I praise and I thank the Lord for bringing her into my life at a young age.
Okay. New question. If you weren't married and you met your wife tomorrow, what do you think would be the thing that brings y'all together?
If I wasn't married,
Mm-hmm. And you met her tomorrow.
I can't even say. And I say that because I think everything happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
If I wasn't married to her, I'd be married to somebody else. I would say that. Which sounds crazy. Like, that's your soul. Like, that's your girl. Like, it is. But just knowing me at the age I was at then,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing the suitors that were there then, on the female side, everything happens for a reason. I met her the way I did at the time I did, and got to know her as much as I did at that time for a reason, because that was what meant to be to happen. So I honestly can't say I've ever thought about that. Like,
Well, what brought y'all together back then?
values. All right, what brought us back together then is us talking about our family values
Mm-hmm.
and our spiritual values and what we believed. Like, we could have a conversation, we could go to church together, we could pray together. One conversation I wish we would have had a little more then was finances. I will say that. That is a very important conversation to have. And not that we've ever struggled, but we've had things tighter than it should have been. And had she listened to some things that I had said financially in the beginning, there would be some conversations we wouldn't have to have currently. But that's a part of growing with it too. Nobody's perfect. Because there are some things relational wise that she had to teach me, and the ladies around her teach about being empathetic or more empathetic, because she is a woman and a lady and she has these feelings, and I can be very logical and not emotional. So they had to teach.
Robotic.
She had to teach me to soften the blow on a lot of things. She really did. And then I had a daughter. We had to soften the blow a little more.
I'm glad you said that, because the next question is, what would you teach your daughter about these stages of a relationship and how to navigate them?
I taught her exactly what I said in the beginning about the 5 stages. If she wants to have a healthy relationship, this is what she needs to do. And if somebody is a red flag to her, don't think that you can I can save him. No, God can save him. You can move on. Don't be out there trying to be superwoman trying to save no dude that want to be saved. No, You tell every female out there. His actions will tell you whether or not he's ready for you or not. And if in your gut you're like, well, he's just not ready yet, you need to move forward with somebody else. But don't try to change him. If he's not trying to change, if he clearly is showing you like, this is me and this is what I'm gonna do, okay, that's cool. Be that. I have somewhere to be. Because men will change for the woman they want to be with. And not just change a little bit.
I don't even think it's really a change thing. I think it's an effort output thing.
Oh, because some guys will.
Because almost every guy has the capacity to do it. It's just if he deems her worth the effort.
True. Very true.
And in that same token, does that differ from what you would teach your son at all?
No. I would teach him the same thing, but when it comes to women, the one thing I do, even though he's 10, I tell him, you'll know what she's about based on what you see with other people. Don't think she's going to be different with you just because you're you. That's not how people work.
It's actual factual.
If they'll do it to somebody else, they'll do it to you. It's all about circumstance. And that's what you have to be mindful of. Because right now the circumstances may be great and you may be everything that she needs in the moment. But if you already know, and it's different when you have people, like, especially, guys and girls, they operate, depending on who they want, like, you've seen it, I've seen it, where somebody's like, oh yeah, so-and-so, don't talk to her because she da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And that may not be true about that person. That's why you have to get through that acquaintance and friend zone, because you'll get to know who they are in that friend zone time. You'll share
friendship time, not friend zone time.
Yeah, in that friendship time. Yeah, you'll get to know who they are and what they are and who they're about. See who they hang with, and just listen. Listen to how their friends approach them. Listen to what they talk about. All that stuff. You'll get to know. But be friend. That's why I say it's very important to have that friend time, where you are just getting to know who they are really, and what they're about. And it also makes it a little easier for you when it comes time to say, you know what, I want this one. Because you've probably already had that conversation. Like, so what you about? I'm about this. What you about? I'm about this. What do you think we work? Yeah. Or they're like, no. I'm like, what you trying to say? I'm like, well, we'll see where we're going. But that, even when you're having that friendship time, when you get to know people, there's nothing wrong with getting to know multiple people and be friends with multiple people. Don't take boyfriend and girlfriend as being married and all of a sudden, no, the rest of the world is dead to you. It's me and you. That's married. I'm just gonna tell you that is married. There's a true fact. Then this is something that that older lady told me as well. You do not create a wife, and she will not create a husband. You are already aiming to be that before you get there.
I mean, that's in the Bible.
So either she wants to be a wife, for sure.
At least on the woman's side, that's in the Bible.
Either she wants to be a wife and she's going to do everything she can do to be a wife, or on the other side, he wants to be a husband and he'll show you the values that a husband is. And most men that want to be a husband are not sleeping with multiple women. I'm going to just tell you that now, ladies. If they got this chick and that chick and that dude's not looking to be a husband to anybody. He ain't just, oh, I'm just going to find the right one and I'm going to be with her. A man of value that has high standards for himself and where he's going is not going to have a roster. He just not. Because he understands that whoever he brings around, he interacts with, and he gets something, energy-wise, spirit-wise, he gets something off of everybody. So he's not going to let everybody in that boat.
Fair. Now we're going to take a step back. And do you think this should be taught to more people when they're younger, or they should be allowed to just crash courses and just live life and learn it on their way up?
Teenage years. When you go for 11, 12, when you hit 13, this is your conversation. When you're past 12 o'clock, which for most places, that's the age of accountability, that's when most kids are able to stay home by themselves in some cases.
Yeah.
Like
well,
12.
Used to be able to stay home by themselves.
Yeah, used to be
Y'all
able to stay
weird
home.
in 2025.
Right, you should be able to stay home by yourself. But really, 12 years old, when puberty hits, that's when you start having these conversations. And then that way, as they develop into teenagers, you're really having this conversation. By the time they're 19, 20 years old, they've had, 6 years of this at the minimum. And now they kind of know a little better of what to look for, what not to look for. And then they also have to see, and this isn't everybody, but a lot of people need to see that healthy relationship, or need to be able to at least pick out that healthy relationship, and that'll help them out, but it's not a guarantee. And I say that because some of the best dads I know didn't have a dad. They just know what it is to be a good man. And they're going to do everything they can do to be a good man.
Well, and that's a discussion for another time, because a lot of times what you'll see is in those situations when men don't have a father figure in their life, they go extremist, and it works to their benefit and go on the opposite. I didn't have somebody there to show me that, so I'm going to be everything I needed and be that for my own.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
And then you got some who grew up in perfect families, fathers and all, and they just decided to. I ain't gonna finish that statement. But
That's true too, though.
in all of this, if you could only give one piece of relationship advice for the rest of your life, what do you think that advice would be?
One piece?
Just one.
Be patient with the one that you want to spend the longest time with. And manage your expectations, because that's where your arguments are going to start. When they don't meet your expectation, or when you don't meet theirs, you need to understand why that is, and you need to be patient in those situations and get through that. Don't be less patient with them than you are with yourself. That would be it.
Got nothing to add to that. But also, that was the entire point. This is the reason I've been telling him he needs to get back on the podcast anyway.
So yes, that would be it.
But I don't even know how long we've been yapping. This is more of a welcome back. And you can expect a whole lot more than this. Some subjects YouTube's not gonna like, so be on the lookout for a Patreon link so you can actually get the unfiltered, real, raw, and unedited. But if you like what my man just said there, I mean, we're probably still waiting on that like, comment, and subscribe at the bottom.
It's always there. The other thing I would end on, it would have to be 2 points. Being patient. The other thing will be find other couples, married couples, that have been together for a long time, and let them be your voice of reason. Because a lot of them are going to be non-biased. They're going to listen to both sides. They're going to understand how they got through it. And they're going to be able to guide you in your relationship to get to that next step. Wives will have information for the wives. Husbands will have information for the husbands. But ultimately, especially if they've been together for a while, they're going to tell you how to make it. Because that's all they'll know is how to make it work. So they're not going to give you anything else other than how to make it work. Unless it's unhealthy. And then that same couple is going to tell you something's wrong. And I've seen that too.
Okay.
I have. I've legitimately seen that where they're like, hey, we talked to so-and-so's friend, like, listen to what they're saying. They're bad for each other. And they're trying to hurt you. If you're trying to hurt the person you're with, that's an out already.
Man.
And there's some people like that. They got PTSD, and then they go on, well, I remember this happened in my family, then it ain't gonna happen to me, and now you're hurting somebody that you supposedly love because of something that happened in your family that you think you're reliving. That's not the case. You got to deal with that.
That's why the adage is hurt people hurt people.
Yep, that's exactly it.
That's also why you got to put through some tests sometimes just to make sure they're worth the metal. And I'm not talking about shit tests, just pointless stuff.
No, not toxic tests. No.
But
that's where the friend zone kicks in. Let me meet your friends, and then give your opinion on some friends. See how they take that. We've been kids since I was 3. That's cool, but that friend does not have your best interest in.
Time in don't equal quality.
Mm-hmm.
That's for damn sure.
Or they can tell you, that friend's manipulating you. You don't know them. They just like that. Okay.
That actually makes it worse. A lot of times, if I don't know them and I'm telling you that means, and you're responding like that, that means I'm not the first person to tell you, and you just don't want to see it.
When someone gives you a non-biased opinion to help you out, that's one thing.
That's why I don't give advice. You already know what you need to do. You just want somebody to confirm it. I'll let him give advice though. Don't bother me. I see you every single time. But
no, I appreciate you, man, like I do. So you've been my guy for a hot minute. And I appreciate you allowing me to impart what I can, where I can. And
I already told you a long time ago, you ain't got a choice. You got no choice. You gotta get this.
I'd say yes. But yes, the Kaizen means just small improvements over time to get to better things. So if anyone wonder where Raider Kaizen came from, it's because Raider's just trying to get a little better each day. And I really do focus and believe that. So, a little backstory to my name.
Fair enough. We're going to leave it off right there. If you agreed with anything he said today, let us know in the comments. If you disagree, we definitely want to know.
Yeah, we'll talk
what you thought about it. And we absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a person who is afraid to talk about anything. And even though I'm sure if you go back into the other episodes, the other two, they constantly talk about how I would just argue and try to decimate women on this subject. That's not true. As long as you don't say nothing stupid and you're willing to have a real conversation, I'm willing to have a real conversation. But I'm here for any kind of comments. My ass skin doesn't break just because the word's flat. That's these little minds. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.
Peace.